Hello guys, welcome to Gamedevelopedia. And in today's video, we are going to learn about methods in detail. So before starting the video, I bet you guys that this type of video on methods for cSharp in Unity, you will not be able to find on entire YouTube and as well as in paid courses. So please make sure to watch this tutorial till the end because it takes a lot of efforts to make such in-depth content, and also make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button to increase the reach of this video or channel. And also, if you don't understood any concept in this video, make sure to ask in comment section. I will create a separate video on that topic. So yeah, welcome to Gamedevelopedia. Let's start the lecture, guys. First, let me tell you that the structure of this video or series is first I will explain you guys about some theory, and then we will see some examples. So you guys are thinking that why the theory is important. For instance, if you are learning about a method, okay, in current video we will learn about method only, but assume that if you are learning about a method, I can show you how to define and call it. But if I don't explain the underlying theory, like including the definition of method, here definition means terminology of method, the concept of static methods and their advantages, you might not fully grasp their purpose and when they are most beneficial. Yeah, so that's why the theory is also important. So yeah, let's start the video. Yeah, so what is a method? A method is a block of code that performs a specific task when called. It's a fundamental building block in C# for Unity or any other programming language. So first of all, let me create a script for methods, and then we will understand some more things about method, and then we will see some examples. Okay, so let me name this X methods. Let's open this script. Yeah, okay. So in Unity, methods are used to organize game logic, input handling, events, and etc. Okay, in Unity, methods helps in breaking down code into logical reusable pieces. Let me just get this. Okay, so in Unity, methods helps in breaking down code into logical reusable pieces, enhances readability and maintainability, and controls game flow. For example, game flow such as player movement, shooting, or updating the score, and etc. So now let's understand the advantages of methods with proper examples. Okay, so the first advantage of method is code reusability. So what do we mean by code reusability here? Okay, so code reusability is nothing but you can write a method at once and use it as many times as you need. So for example, let's create a method named void heal. Okay, so here we will print player heal. Okay, and I can simply call this method inside void update player. Okay, heal, and also I can call this method inside void start also heal. Okay, so let's see what will be the output. Here we created a method named heal, and we are just simply printing player healed. Okay, so if what if we haven't wrote this method and we want to call this printing statement inside multiple methods or in our code multiple times. So we will just come here in void update and write this print player health, and also we will come to void start and write print. Okay, write print player healed. Okay, so this is really header. Okay, and it's not a proper way because we are just writing a same line of code multiple times directly in raw format. Okay, so the best way here is to create a method and then just go and call that method inside wherever we want to call it. Like here we are calling in void start and void update. Okay, so now let's see the output. What will be the output? First, let's, okay, I've forgotten to give a semicolon. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so let's see. Let's attach this script. Let's disable this variable game object. Let's create an empty game object. Let's name this example methods. Okay, and attach our method script here. So on console, as you can see, this void start method has executed our heal method. So here player healed. Okay, and the update method also executed the same method player healed. Okay, so now second advantage of method is readability. Okay, so method gives meaningful name to code blocks, making the script easier to understand. So as you can see here, as we were just writing a raw statement first. Okay, so as suppose this statement was here instead of methods. Okay, suppose I wanted to print this method multiple times, this line multiple times. So as you can see, just writing a raw statement inside update, start, or fixed update, it was difficult to read those lines. But when we create our own function heal, it became easy for us in order to understand that yeah, this line is for our player health or something which performs health related task. Okay, so here as you can see, if we haven't created a heal method, these lines, okay, these lines, but these are just few lines. But what if you have multiple lines of code? It really becomes unpredictable that what these lines of code are doing. Okay, so if we created a method with meaningful name about the task which that code or line is performing, it becomes really helpful for us in order to understand the structure of our code or to understand what this line is doing. Okay, so now the third step is easy maintenance. Okay, third advantage is easy maintenance. If something breaks or need an update, or in short, if you want to update our code, in this case, we only need to change it in one single place. Okay, so now here as we created our heal method. So what if I want to print like player healed successfully here? Okay, so if I was just writing a raw line like player healed, print player healed, okay, multiple times suppose player healed. Okay, so in this case, I need to come here in every line and type successful. Okay, here also successfully, and here also. Okay, but what method provides us is we can just go simply to this method and this printing line of method and just type here successfully. Okay, now these changes are just reflected everywhere where we are using that method. Okay, so now let's see what it prints. So as you can see here, the start function printed player healed successfully. Also the update function printed player healed successfully. Okay, so this was a third advantage of method. So yeah, now let's move on the next topic. So yeah, so now let's understand about syntax of a method. So first let me write the syntax of method and then I will explain. First let me comment out this or just remove this. Okay, so the syntax of method is access modifier, then non-access modifiers, then return type, and then we use method name, and then parameters. Okay, so and also let me tell you that this double slash, we are using this for comment. Comment means it's a non-executable part of our program, and we use this to just understand stuff and understand about the line, what the line is, specific line is doing, what the specific method is doing. Okay, so access modifier, non-access modifier, return type, method name, and parameters. This is a basic or general syntax of a method, but we don't use all this always. Sometimes we use just access modifier, method name, parameters. Sometimes we use just return type, method name, and parameters. And yeah, so let's understand access modifier first. So access modifiers. So what is this access modifier? Okay, as the name suggests, access modifier, which are used to control the accessibility of method, are also a variable. There are two main types of access modifiers, public and private. So public access modifier, public, private. Okay, so public, what does this public do? I have explained a lot about this public and private in my previous video. I have gone in depth about public and private, so make sure to watch that video first. Then you will know this public and private in detail. So as of I created a video on public private access modifiers. It's not, I feel so it's not important to describe them in detail in this video. So I will just explain in short. But if you want to learn in depth, just make sure to watch that video. Okay. So public here means we can access public method all the classes. Okay, or scripts throughout the scripts. Okay, so public here means we can access the public method throughout all the scripts. Okay, or all the classes directly. And private, so private method can't be accessible in any other class or script directly. To access this, we need to create an instance or object of that class. So what does this line means here? Okay, so in order to access the private method, we need to first create an object of this class, and then we need to call that object inside another class in order to access a private method. Okay, so I explained a lot in previous video. It was about a variable video, but it works same for methods also. So make sure to watch that video, and then your concept about this will be really clear. Okay, so also one thing that if we do not provide any access modifier, by default the access modifier is private. So here void update, this is a private method. So we cannot call this void update or void start in any other script. Okay, so now let's move on to the non-access modifiers. So what are the non-access modifiers? Okay, so these non-access modifiers are keywords which are used to modify or alter the behavior of members. Members means variables, methods, and etc. So the first non-access modifier is static. Okay, okay. Let me first tell you example. So here we write private, public, static, void, field. Okay. So here the static means non-access modifier. Okay, so static is a keyword. Static is a keyword and a non-access modifier. Okay, static is a keyword and a non-access modifier, which is used to create static members such as static variable, static method, and etc. These static members belong to the class itself and not an object. So, in order to access these static members, we don't need to create any object. We can simply call them inside any other static member or context. And to call this inside any other class or script, we use class name as a reference. So, this static member or method. Okay, so this method here we have used static keyword. So it means that this method belongs to a class itself. So our class is ex methods. Okay. So this method here belongs to this ex methods class. And in order to call this method inside any other script or any other class, we just give a class name as an example. So here, if assume that I am calling this method inside another class. We will see a proper example, but currently just understand this. So here we will give ex methods. This is our class name, and we will give dot. This dot here means we are to access the folder. We just okay to access the folder. We first open it, and then again to access. Suppose we are opening a music folder, and in music folder there are some romantic songs, some sad songs. So we are going into songs folder, and there is a music folder. There is like romantic song and sad songs. So we want to open the sad song folder. We double click it and open it. Same as here, we are doing example methods. This dot means we are opening, we are calling, or we are accessing another member from this class. So here we need to access healed method. So we'll just simply type healed. Okay, healed. Okay. So this is a calling statement for that method. Okay. First class name and then whatever you want to call. So suppose here there is static int a equal to 10. So now I want to access this static member. So in order to access this static member, I will just simply write class name as a reference here ex methods and dot a. Okay. So I hope so you understood this. There are more non-static modifiers, but they are not much important because we use them very rarely or in very rare cases. Maybe in future videos we may see those in depth. Okay, so let's understand this static with proper example now. So first let me tell you that you cannot directly access a non-static method. So what do you mean by non-static? Here this is a non-static method. Void start, void update, or just if we type public, no, not public, because public method is accessible everywhere. Void move. Okay, so here we just created void move. Okay, void move method in ex methods class. So I can't access this method directly inside any other script or any other class. Okay, so in order to access this non-static, this is a non-static. So non-static means where we are not using any access modifier. Okay, sorry, non-access modifier. And in order to access this method, we need to create an object of the class. Okay, we will also see example of creating object of class. So don't worry, but this theory is also important. Okay, So just don't ignore this theory, understand this theory. Okay, so now let's remove this and start our example. For example, I will create another script. Let it compile. Okay, yeah. Here I will create two scripts. One will be class A and another will be, let it compile, do the stuff. Class B. Okay, let me also open class B. Let me cut this. I know this tutorial will be too long, but this will cover all the topics. So make sure to watch this till the end. And if you have any doubt or etc., just comment below. I will try to solve that out. So in class A, what we will do, we will create two methods. One will be static and one will be non-static. Okay. So let's start. Here we will not use start and update method. So here I will simply create static void and I will name this method static method. Okay, static method A. A represents here class A. Okay, so now I will just print static method A from class A. Okay, and we will create another method. We will name it like public void non static method A. Okay, non-static method A, print non-static method A from class. So now in class B, what we will do, we will try to access this class A methods in this class B. Okay, means here we are trying to see means whether we can access this static or non-static methods in another class directly, where and how to create the object. Okay, so now let's start. So here as I told you that static belongs to class. Okay, so here to call static method A, you can just simply write a class name as an reference, ignore the spellings, a reference. So now just go to class B and we will use update only, not old start. Here now I want to call this method in different class or different script. So as this method is static, I can just simply refer it by class A, class name dot static method A. Okay, and this static method A will just print static method A from class A. Okay, first let's understand the execution. So here on in word update, as you know, word update just fires or executes everything. Okay, so this will directly execute everything, and this class A refers to our class. So when execution comes to the word update, so word update will execute this line, and from this first where we referred our class name, So it will go to our class, search for static method A, here static method A, and then the static method A will print static method A from class A. Okay, let's give semicolons here. So now let's see what will be the output. Let's attach these two scripts to our game object. Okay, and let's disable this example method script and see what will be the output. Okay, so as you can see, static method A from class A has printed. Okay, so now what if I want to access this public void non-static method A? So in order to access this, I need to create an object. So if I tried to directly call that method, let's call that method directly and see what error will we get. So non-static method A. Okay. So here what's happening, void update will go to class A, search for non-static method A and execute whatever the line or code we written here. Okay. So in this case, as this is a non-static method, we will get a compile time error. CET, compile time error. Okay, so let's see what happens. See, this is a compile time error. An object reference is required for the non-static field, method or property. So what does this error mean? This error means that we need to create an object in order to access this method. Okay, so now let's try. Let's see how do we create object. In order to create object, first we want to call the class name of which we want to create an object. So here we want to create an object of class A, and then we need to give a variable name. Variable name means it will store the reference of that class. Okay, a memory address, you can also assume that a memory address, it will store this. Here we will name this obj equal to new class A. Okay, so this class A means class name of which we want to create an object. Then we will give a name. You can assume that this is a variable. Okay, this will store the reference of this class. Okay, so here new is a keyword which will create the object of class A, and this class A is a constructor. Okay, a default constructor which compiler provides, because we haven't created any constructor here. Also we will see about constructor in a later video. So here class A is a constructor of this class. We need to call a constructor in order to create an object. Okay, so now as we created obj means a reference variable which is referring to class A. Now we can simply call that reference obj non-static method. Okay, so now what happening here is, let's understand the execution first. So here what's happening, whenever void updates get executed, it will just first look obj. What is obj? It will go to line A, here class A obj equal to new class A. So here obj is referring to class A, so indirectly obj refers to class A. So this update will just go to class A and search for a non-static method A. Okay, and just print this line or whatever code we wrote there. Okay, so now let's see what happens. As you see that that error is gone, and here you can see non-static method A from class A, and ignore this warning for now. Non-static method A from class A, as we got our output. Yeah. So I know these topics are really tough to understand, but I hope so. This explanation cleared your doubts, and if not, just comment below about it. Or if you want a separate video on this specific topic, I will also create a separate video. So yeah, now let's move on to another topic. So now first let's quickly understand about classifications of methods and then move on to the return type. So first of all, you guys are thinking that why am I explaining a lot of theory? The theory is also important, guys, because if you don't know what is a parameterized method or what is a static method, non-static method, suppose you got any error in a specific line and you need a solution for it. Assume that you are working on a project and you got any error on a specific line and you want to explain that error or explain your code to someone. For example, like you want to explain your code to Google or any AI agent or any like chat GPT, Gemini. You will not be explain it properly. So in order to explain your code properly, you need to understand theory and terms uh, first. Okay. So now let's create another script and let's name it like return type ex return type. Let's open it. Okay. So let's understand the classifications of method. So we'll go. Wait a minute. So we will go over three primary classifications of method, and they are. Let me comment this. So they are. First one is based on creation or creator. Okay, and second one is based on parameters, and third one is non-access modifiers. Okay, so the first classification of method is based on creation, second one is based on parameters, and the third one is based on non-access modifiers. Okay, so let's understand this in detail now. So in first one, which is based on creation, there are two types. One is built-in, or we can call it as pre-defined, and the second one is user created. So what is a built-in or predefined method? So built-in and predefined method is nothing like Unity created itself, like this void update. This void update is created by Unity itself. Void start is created by Unity itself, and there are more like fixed update, late update, and these methods are created by Unity itself. So those are called built-in or predefined methods, and the user created are let me show. Yeah, the user created are this take damage means the methods which user creates, a programmer creates, are known as user created. So now let's move on to second one, and it's based on parameters. Okay, so in here the first one is also here there are two types. First one is parameterized, just ignore the spellings for now, and second one is non-parameterized. Okay, so what is a parameterized method and what is a non-parameterized method? So first let's cover non-parameterized. So non-parameterized are we already covered them. So these methods like, where are they? Okay, this die, public void die. This is a non-parameterized method because we haven't passed anything inside method signature. Okay. We will also understood what is method signature and that definition of method. But first, let's understand this. So, non-parameterized method are just a simple method where we are not creating any parameters which methods will accept. Okay. So now let's move on to the first one. For this, we will be seeing example. So, what is a parameterized method? Parameterized methods accept input values to work with. Like let's create an example quickly. Let me end this comment. So here we will create void damage and we will create a variable inside method signature. Okay. So method signature means this part like method name and this parenthesis. So this part is known as method signature. We will understand it, but let's quickly see the example of parameterized method. So int damage and let's create a body for this method. Okay. So yeah, and we will just create this soon. Just wait a minute. Let me write the code damage. Yeah. Okay. So this int damage, which we wrote inside this parenthesis, is a local variable. Is like a local variable for this damage method, and this method can now accept the values from whenever it is called. Okay. So this line int damage is same as int damage equal to 10. So this line and this line is same. Here we are creating a variable and here also we are creating a variable but inside method itself. Okay. So just sorry, I have just got a phone call. So let's go again to video. So here we have created void damage and we have passed in int damage. Okay, so it this int damage is same as a variable which we create inside a class block. But this specific int damage will be only accessible inside a damage function. So let's quickly create a player health variable int player health equal to 100. Okay. So now what's happening in this block is let's first call this method also damage 10. So while calling parameterized method, we need to pass in value inside that method. Okay, whenever we are calling it. So here we are passing 10 value inside this parameters, and this value will assigned to damage, and then the operations further operations will be performed. Okay, so here what we operation we are performing, we are subtracting player health, this player health and from damage whichever we are getting, and we are printing player health inside this method. Okay, so let's execute it and see what will be the out. So here as player health is 100 and we are while calling damage method we are passing 10 as an parameter or argument inside damage, and this 10 will be stored inside int damage, and then this damage can be called inside this method to perform operations. So here as player health is equal to 100 and we are subtracting 10 from it, so the output will be 90. So let's see what happens. Let me make sure that OBS is capturing the screen. Yeah, OBS is capturing. Okay, so let's attach this script here and let's disable other scripts for now, and let's run this. And let's see the console. So here you can see player health 90. Okay, so let's stop this. And what if we will not pass any argument? Okay, What if we will not pass any parameter while calling damage, as this is a parameterized method? So let's see what happens. Okay, let's clear this, and as you can see, it got a compile time error that there is no argument given that corresponds to required former parameter damage. Okay, so if we do not pass any parameter or any argument inside damage while calling it, we will get a compile time error. So in order to call in order to call a parameterized method, we need to pass in arguments or parameters, else we will get an error. Okay, so as we understood this, so now let's move on to non-parameterized methods. Okay, so what is non-parameterized methods? Okay, so I think so we already discussed non-parameterized. Yeah, we already discussed about it. Let me tell you again that the non-parameterized method are where we are not passing any value in here. Okay, in this parenthesis while creating a method. So now there is a third type of classification, and that is based on non-access modifiers. In here there are two types. One is static and second one is non-static. So we already understood about static and non-static. Okay, so we don't need any explanation for this, I hope so. And still, if you have any doubts about static and non-static, just comment below and I will create another separate video on static and non-static. Okay, so now we will move on to the return type. Okay, so what is return type? Sorry for lots of pause in this video because I am getting calls in between, and also this video is really big for me as a new content creator. But yeah, I have tried my best to explain the concepts. Still, if you have any doubts, just comment below. I will just try to answer all of your questions. So now let's understand what is return type. So for okay, so what is return type? So return type returns what kind of value will it give back after it finishes execution. And if a method doesn't return anything, we use void as an return type. And suppose if we want to return something, the return type of that method must be a specific data type. Like if we want to return int, so instead of void, we will just write int. So first, return type returns a value whenever that method is called. Like let's see an example and understand this. Okay, so we will just write example in the script only. So int. So first let's write a general syntax: public, static, void, uh, get player score. Okay, and then I will just call this get player score inside. Let's say start. Okay, we'll call this inside start, and just okay. So public static void get player score. So void here represents that this method will not return any kind of value. Okay, and instead of void, if I write int here, so now this indicates that this method will return integer type of value whenever this method is called. Or okay, so first let's keep this simple. Let's remove static, public, and etc. Just keep it int get player score. Okay, so now how do we return a value? Simply just by return 100. So with this statement or with this line, we are returning 100. Okay, whenever this method is called. So in update, okay, let's cut this update. So here we are calling this get player score method. So now whenever this method will be called, it will return 100 as an value. Okay, but here we are not printing it somewhere. So now what we will do, we will store this get player score inside uh, int type of variable and print it. Okay, so here what we are doing, we created another integer type of variable named score, and we are storing this method inside get player score. Okay, and then we are printing the score. So now let's just control s. We don't need to call this method directly. So now this variable is working as an get player score. Okay, so whenever we are calling this score variable, this get player score will get executed. So now on console, let's make this like player score. Okay, plus score. So now let's see what happens. Let's clear the console. Why is this giving an error? We are not passing any value here. Okay, let's comment this out. We don't need this. Okay, so now let's see what happens. So here, as you can see, player score 100. Okay, so what if we do not just store this inside int score and print anything? Just call this method. What will happen? What do you guys think? Player score. Okay, what will happen? Do we get any kind of error? Let's see what will happen. So as you can see, we haven't got any error at compile time, and let's see if we get any error at runtime or not. So as you can see, we haven't got any error. So why are we not getting an error? So there is whenever we are calling this, we don't need to pass any value like parameterized method, or we don't need to do any kind of other stuff like we just need to call this method. But here what we are doing, we are just calling the method. We are not printing any value. We are not storing this method inside another variable or etc. We are just calling it. So this method will be called and return 100, but we are not printing this anywhere. Execution is being executed, means it's being executed, but we are just not accessing the return whatever value is being returned. Okay, so that's why we are not getting any error. So now let's quickly understand about the last topic on methods. It's a terminology of methods or method definition. Okay, so let's first quickly write the syntax or syntax of the method, and I will explain you. Access modifier, non-access modifiers, return type, method name, and parameters. Okay, so let's just add some space in between. Okay, so here method name and parameters, this combined is known as method signature, and method declaration is a combo of access modifier, non-access modifier, return type, and method signature. So all this combined is known as method declaration. And method body, as you know, this is a method body. Here in between we write all our code or statements. Okay, so this is a method body, and this all combined is known as method declaration, and this two method name and parameter is known as method signature, and this whole combined, okay, this whole combined method body and this method declaration is known as method definition. Okay, I hope so you understood this. And if you guys have any of confusion, or if you guys have any problem about this concept, just make sure to comment it, or you can also suggest me to make another video, and you can just suggest me topics on which I should create a video. And yeah, I will try my best to answer your questions or to create a separate video on any topic. Okay, so yeah, this was all for the video, guys. So let's end this tutorial, and in next video we will see more things about different concepts and etc. So please make sure to subscribe our channel. And yeah, I'm giving lots of efforts to create these tutorials, so please make sure to subscribe our channel and like the video. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye bye. I just want to give a quick personal note to you guys that I don't plan my videos, means timing of video, means how long it should be. I do not create any video script and etc. I just sit in front of my laptop and create the video because I don't want to limit myself to explain about the topic and go in depth on that topic. And at last, if there are some minor mistakes from my side in the video, I am really sorry for that, as I am new in this content creation field. I will it will take some time for me to enhance the video which I upload. But yeah, the knowledge which I am sharing in this series is really in depth. So please make sure to support the channel. And also, please comment below that whether the videos are being recorded correctly or not. Provide me some recommendations about recording the video and etc. So yeah, thank you for watching.